It was supposed to be a normal day. The sun was shining, the street was quiet, and inside the house, everything seemed calm. The family was packing. Boxes filled the living room. Suitcases stood near the door. It looked like they were getting ready to leave. And sitting quietly in the corner was their dog. His name was Buddy. Buddy had lived with the family for almost 5 years. He grew up in that house, played in the backyard, waited by the door every time someone came home. To him, this wasn't just a house, it was everything he knew. As the family moved around, carrying boxes and closing bags, Buddy watched. His tail wagged slowly. He thought maybe they were going on a trip. Maybe he was coming too. He stood up and walked toward the door, excited, hopeful, but something felt different. The family didn't call his name, didn't put his leash on, didn't prepare his food. Instead, they walked outside, one by one, carrying the last of their things. Buddy followed. Standing at the doorway, watching, the father placed the final suitcase into the car. The engine started, the doors closed. Buddy's tail wagged faster. He waited for someone to call him, for someone to say his name, but no one did. The car began to move, slowly at first, then faster. Buddy ran forward, his paws hitting the pavement. He barked once, then again, but the car didn't stop. It kept going, further down the street, until it disappeared. Buddy stopped running. He stood there, in the middle of the road, breathing heavily, confused. The street was silent again. Slowly, he turned around and walked back to the house. The front door was closed, locked. He sat down on the porch, waiting. Minutes passed, then hours. The sun began to set. The sky turned orange, then dark. But Buddy didn't move. The next morning, he was still there, waiting. A neighbor across the street noticed him, an elderly woman named Margaret. She had seen Buddy grow up, watched him play in the yard, watched him greet his family every day. She stepped outside slowly. "Buddy," she called softly. The dog lifted his head. His tail moved slightly, but he didn't leave the porch. Margaret walked closer, kneeling down beside him. "Oh, what did they do to you?" she whispered. She brought him some water, then some food. Buddy ate quietly, but every few seconds, he looked back at the street, waiting. Days passed. Buddy never left. He stayed by the door, as if he believed they would come back. Margaret visited him every day, bringing food, talking to him, trying to comfort him. But Buddy's eyes always searched the road. Then one afternoon, something unexpected happened. Margaret slipped right in front of her house. She fell hard onto the pavement and couldn't get up. She called out for help, but the street was empty. No one heard her except Buddy. He stood up immediately, ran across the street, and reached her side. Margaret was in pain, struggling to move. Buddy barked, loud, again and again, not stopping, not slowing down. A passerby finally heard the barking, turned around, and saw what was happening. They rushed over, called for help. Within minutes, emergency services arrived. Margaret was taken to the hospital, and she was going to be okay. Later that evening, the same passerby returned, looking for the dog. They found Buddy sitting on the porch again, still waiting. The story quickly spread about the dog who was abandoned, the dog who stayed, the dog who saved someone's life. A few days later, Margaret came back home, slowly, carefully, but safe. She walked toward Buddy, tears in her eyes. "You didn't leave me," she whispered. Buddy wagged his tail, for the first time in days. It was a real wag. That afternoon, Margaret made a decision. She opened her door, "Come on, buddy," she said softly. "This time, you're not staying outside." Buddy looked at her, then at the empty street. For a moment, it felt like he was still waiting, still hoping, but then, slowly, he stood up and walked inside, because sometimes the ones who are left behind are the ones who stay the most loyal. And sometimes the home you lose leads you to the one you truly deserve.